I would like to invite to the stage, first of all, Roger Feste. He has been here early today as well. He started his career as a carpenter. He was a carpenter for 15 years on construction sites before moving indoors for a new career in IT. And his hands-on experience, and I'm pretty sure many of you have already worked with him, is really valuable when you want to develop tools for the construction industry. And then we have another carpenter, Jóhannes Bjarnason. He's a civil engineer and department manager for the design and construction department at KEF International Airport. I got very tough instructions yesterday on how to pronounce the name of the capital of Iceland. He also started his career in the construction industry as a carpenter. But now he's done a bit more schoolwork. He earned his Master of Science from Denmark's Technical University in 2012 before starting his career as a BIM specialist in the Norwegian oil industry. In 2015, he relocated to Iceland to take on the role of BIM manager at Isavia, the KEF Airport operator company. I'm doing well? Are you happy? Very well. Oh, very good. Today, he is responsible for the delivery team, overseeing all construction projects from design to completion and delivery of operations at KEF International Airport. I made sure to put it in many times. KEF Airport. With that, welcome. Give them a warm round of applause.
Thank you for the nice introduction. So yeah, we are here to go a little bit through with you on what we're doing at Keflavik Airport. Keflavik, sorry, I mispronounced myself. And want to go a little bit through a little bit of our backstory and why and what we are, our vision is for our data management and incorporated with sustainability as well. So it's streamlining delivery, standardization, and automation at KEF Airport. And with such a professional introduction that I would want to go more into who I am. So even though I was not playing in a band, Carpenters, I used to play in a band, as you can see down in the right corner. It was during my cool period. And after that, I love snowboarding, I love activities, and we sometime in these venues where we are meeting and discussing technical stuff, we forget that we are all just, having fun as well on the side. Originally, I was going to be a sailor, or a fisherman, which is a big industry in Iceland as well. But I found my way after my studies for dynamic and earthquake analysis of high-rise building coming from Iceland. That was a topic that was really exciting. When I finished my master's and I met Per-Ole, I decided this was nothing that I was going to be part of anymore because I found BIM in the year 2012. So that's where my kind of journey started. And then, of course, there are my kids. And I actually went to that lower picture there in our mindfulness session just earlier. And so that's me. Department manager, but I'm always a BIM guy in the foundation. Then with me, Roger.
Yeah, I'm a senior consultant at Symetri. I'm helping Isavia out with the cloud solutions, Autodesk Construction Cloud, and helping out managing that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And to add, Roger is a key individual in our whole standardization at Isavia today when it comes to ACC and our platforms. So a little bit about KEF Airport, just so you know where we're situated, is that it was built by NATO. It was built in the Second World War. Sometime in the year 1987, we built the terminal itself, and the whole base was handed over to the Isavia government in 2006. So this is an old buildings, old runways. Everything is really, really old. So information is not something that you have structured anywhere within our systems. since 2015 at least. We service around 9 million passengers today. I don't have the 24 numbers, sorry about that, but it's about 9 million passengers per year, 28 destinations and airlines and 95 destinations. So our aim is to connect Europe and America, so to become this hub. During the morning presentations, and especially the keynote where we're talking a lot about sustainability, you all figure probably that airports are not that sustainable in general. But I'll come a little bit into that further on. So a little bit of the program scope. We are now going through the biggest expansion development at KEF Airport as we speak. So right now we are finalizing this big East Wing terminal, which is the project that has kind of paved the way for our new way of working, or our new data management, or how we handle our BIM models and data. So I always bring this specific project up because I think we also need to look at, it's always about money, and we've been talking about that, upper management within companies and so on. To get them to invest into smart solutions is always tricky, but we do that through projects like this one, and we assign percentage of the budget into investment in technology. And we have a couple of other projects coming up, which is totaling of about 100,000 something square meters that we're adding to the terminal. So today the terminal is about 90,000 square meters, so we're almost doubling in size in the next 10 to 15 years is the vision for today. And then some interesting facts within our environment. We deal with strong winds, so we need to close off the airports often. Snowstorms, the photo in the middle is actually from our parking lot 2 years ago. And that is a tricky one, but our snow removal team keeps the airstrips and runways all clear. That's exactly where GIS comes strong in as well. So we have automation through our, when we're doing snow removal, when we're working on the airport, every vehicle has kind of these GPS sensors. I'm not going to go deep into that today. But the terminal sometimes becomes kind of the shelter from the storm. So when all flights are down, you can't drive to Reykjavik or Keflavik even, we need to open up the whole airport. We need to fence down the security control and just open it all up, and then we need to clean it out all again when the storm passes, just to make the passengers and people feel comfortable. And then there's, of course, the volcanic eruptions that we are dealing with as well. So every 1 month or 2 months or so, we have an eruption. So the photo to the left is just, where you see the eruption next to Grindavík, which was evacuated not so long ago. And the photo on the right is actually taken from our offices. So I'm sitting at the airport looking at the volcano. You can see an airplane right in the foreground there. So these are kind of the environmental challenges, so not affecting specifically the BIM area, but it's affecting all of our local coordinate systems, and we're moving around. I think the whole airport has moved 1 meter to any direction for the past 2 years. So imagine going back to do measurements on site. Can be really tricky. Now, one of our challenges, so I want to go a little bit more into kind of the main topic of this presentation, which is kind of the data strategies and our constant development of tools. So we decided in 2015 to implement Glue and Field. So what we did is we got Glue and we got Field, and Glue was mainly to share the models and do some coordination. Field was mainly for on-site visits, issues, and checklists and so on. But what we quickly found out is that these two products, even though they were made both by Autodesk and were meant to be fully incorporating each other, like connectivity, they weren't. We also had SharePoint, and we had other data sources which we could not connect to. So what we did is we invested quite heavily at the time in creating our own programs, our own scripts and connections, so that if you create an issue on the field, you put a certain type on it, it will be sent by an email or stored on SharePoint. if you issued drawings within SharePoint, those got automatically issued as soon as they were approved by design management, got automatically issued into Field and into Glue or whatever software we needed. So it was a quite heavy investment because we were 100% sure that Autodesk had made a product that they were not going to change. We were naive, most likely, but we found out that there just was a lot of things done. But then Autodesk came with BIM 360. So all of that work that we have done on automation with Glue and Field was kind of lost, but most of it was already now incorporated into the new platform. But some of it we needed to do again. We needed to add connectivity to SharePoint, and we need to redo some of our processes and kind of change the way we were working at that time to update our system, make sure that we get everything that we need and keep the connectivity to the organization. But what actually happened was that BIM 360 was good enough for the construction, was good enough for design. So our PMs, myself, design managers, they didn't feel the need to connect it to SharePoint or connect it to emails or kind of connect it to the organization. So we kind of became disconnected again, even though we've created all this connectivity from before. So that was kind of like a new type of issues that arose when we got BIM 360. But project on a project level was really good, but on an organizational level, we didn't have that full connectivity that we wanted. And leading from BIM 360 and moving over to the ACC environment is where Symetri has also come in and help us standardize our ACC environment. So I'm going to let Roger lead that presentation for next slides. Thank you.
Thanks. Yeah, at Isavia we're having one program-wide project to rule them all, kind of way, and the program-wide projects are receiving models from all the other projects, and we are using a bridge connection to gather all the models and automate the process. All the projects in ACC are doing this automatically. BIM 360 are still using manual processes. Now it's possible to use Nebula to do this, so we'll look at that into that later on. BIM 360 and ACC works really well together, side by side, but still there are plans to move the old projects from BIM 360 into ACC, but this needs to be planned really good, not to disrupt ongoing projects and so on. And it's also necessary, unfortunately, to use third-party products to do this. Isavia having 37 projects. All of them are connected together, more or less, so they always rely on each other. All the new projects are made in ACC using the same template. That is a very thought out template that has been have workflows and permissions. All that is tested out several times, and all projects are connected together with a bridge functionality, so that you can always link everything back and forth to be able to have updated data all the time. The flow structures and workflows always follow. It's always the same. Always possible to recognize the projects. If you're working this project on that project, it's always the same for all users. That makes it very effective to work in them, and always also standardized. Of course, there's always small adjustments to the projects, always, due to new capabilities in the platform, but also new needs, and also some project-specific adjustments. Also using naming standards a lot, and this makes it possible to recognize the file names, to recognize the content of the files. That is used all over all the projects. Isavia doesn't use all the functionalities in BIM 360 and ACC, but those are used extensively in all projects, used really well. Like issues are used to keep track of all drawing reviews, design changes, design issues, all that. And we're talking about thousands of issues. So it's really important to keep track of all that. RFIs are also used very much to make decisions and keep track of all decisions and share the information with all stakeholders in the projects. And then you won't even lose information. Review processes are automating a lot of things. So you approve drawings and models, and it's automatically transferred to the next phase of the project. And this ensures that everything is in the correct place at the right time. Submittals are also used a lot to just approve all documentation, certifications delivered to the projects. And the advantage is that all the connected data are makes it possible to track anything when necessary, and it's also you may be also able to use the tools correctly to more easily do the handover and close out of projects and hand over to operation and maintenance. To sum it up, the successes is that the platforms are used in all projects and all the tools are used well by all stakeholders in all projects. And because of this, also communication are also kept inside the projects, so it's not lost. The challenges is like Jóhannes told us, that the change of platforms from BIM 360 to ACC, that takes time and needs to be planned really well. Another challenge has been permission settings that are in several places in the platforms, and it's not even the same in both platforms, so it's really important to keep track of it. And some admins has been a bit confused at times, so there has been a few times there is a mix-up with permissions, and you need to adjust permissions to give access. But it is easy to fix, but it still takes time, and you need to just be sure that you don't disturb any other workflows. We have started some initiatives to get this done more easily, so hopefully it will be a lot easier to manage the permissions later on.
Yes. So with all of these challenges that we've had from jumping from platform to platform to platform, we had to kind of rethink a little bit what do we want to manage our data and what are our objectives and main goals and vision for the future. So what we had was we had all of our design data, anything that is being created within design process of the project we had in BIM 360. In SharePoint we had all the legal documentation like specifications and tender documentation and contracts and so on. And then we have the organizational and finance department that also has a lot of project data that we like to connect to. But all of that was kind of siloed while we were in BIM 360 environment. And we kind of, I don't know what it was, we kind of lost the initiative. We kind of lost either if it's the interest or what it was the reason for we stopped kind of developing. 2 years ago, I got then the question from the upper management, the C-level management at the company, is what's this BIM stuff and why are we spending so much money on it? And I really didn't have a full answer. Right? I just was this a basic answer that anyone would say probably is it, helps with sustainability. We have a BIM model, we can use it in operations and yada yada yada. But I realized that in order to get their buy-in and kind of really have BIM work as a benefit for the C-level, the ones who are actually approving the investments, I needed to do something to have them see the benefit, have them use the information. So what we did is we started focusing more on kind of the organizational needs and the data management there, and kind of I want to focus here on cost and contract management, But keep in your mind that it's not only cost and contract. I will come into that. So what we do is, in Autodesk ACC, we have our models, we have our specifications. So within our models, we have our BOQs. BOQs are created as an Excel document that we get out of the models. Each and every item, a cost item in the project, is specified. So it's like a work item or a work breakdown structure, if you will. And that is incorporated into a database, an SQL database. This then goes out to tender. So this is the basis for a contract. We've now tendered out this contract. This is the BOQ, and it is a database functionality. Now, then what happens is that we have maybe 10 to 15 contracts in one project. So we have multiple databases, one for each contract. And the reason why we keep them so separate is that our progress reporting on site uses those databases. So our contractors, they will do their progress reporting in each every contract. So they won't get paid. Their invoice is based on their progress reporting within our own system. Design changes during the contract is something that we need to tackle as well. So we have a lot of design changes going on. We usually, just like in Norway and anywhere else, we probably build first and then we design, which is something we need to really fix. But we have a process on design changes as well, and how that is then incorporated into the database. So instead of letting the contractor come to us and say, hey, this is extra work, I need to get additional paid, we are actually going to the contractor and saying, hey, this is extra work, we're going to pay you additionally. So we're kind of trying to turn things around to be like more honest, more open with the quantities, with the cost items, and what it is that we are invoicing or getting invoiced by. We then run all these databases into Microsoft Fabric, and through Power BI, we get these monthly reports, which are awesome. Not everybody sees the sexiness of these kind of reports, but I really, really see them because it's automated. There's no additional information put in these models that generates this report. It's only the progress report from on-site, from the contractor, who said, I did 5 cubic meters of concrete, 100 kilos of steel, and that generates his invoice, and it generates the monthly report for us. So this is what I can take to the C-suite and say, hey, look, this is automated, this is what we're paying for, this is the BIM stuff you're talking about. But a low-hanging fruit is the Excel document BOQ. We've also started to add the carbon footprint for each and every item. And that is actually, should be, from previous presentations, from previous discussions this morning, should be the main focus of what we're doing. But we won't get the investment unless we can show them something that they want to see and what they can buy into. Next step for us now is to fully connect this to the financial system, like in operations. And we have already started. We already have a demo and pilot on it, and I will show you how that looks today in a while. And then it's it's high benefits for the delivery team, and all the information is centralized in our own databases. So as you can probably see, we haven't bought any tool. We haven't bought anything here. It's all homemade. It's made within our walls, and it's a lot of hours and a lot of investment that went into this. What we get from the monthly report is we get a monthly report for the overall project. So you have 10 contracts, and you could get one report that shows you all of these 10 contracts. That's what the C-level will actually see. They don't want to see, how many cubic meters or what. They just want to see what's the actual monthly look ahead for the next 3 months maybe. But we can break it down. This is just Power BI. Most of you probably have seen that and know how that functions. So I can drill down and see the parts of the contract. But what we've also done is we have done a Power BI representation of the BIM model with the contract. So we've incorporated the model. So if you select an item in the parts of contract, it will show you what it was actually in this month that it was constructed within the 3D model. But to be fully honest, because I like to be honest, is that it's not functioning like we would like it to today. But it will. So I'm not going to be Autodesk and tell you, you can get this tomorrow. But what we do is with the work that Roger's doing and Symetri with us, standardizing ACC, standardizing the model, standardizing the quality of the information within the models, this connection is going to be the low-hanging fruit from there. So, and that will be generated hopefully automatic as well, because it's using the same classification system, same coding systems across the different scenarios. So we went from the manual manual tedious process of creating the reports to automated processes, and now we are working on the connectivity across the whole organization. And I'm happy to show from last week we got the first automated CCD report that is connecting to the financial system within the organization. So now the C-level management is really interested. And this is what really gets us moving to the next step, which is hopefully the sustainability and a little bit more of kind of our responsibility within our environment. Coming from Iceland, I really love the glaciers. I'm really sad to see them. I won't see them leave, but my grandchildren will probably see them go if we don't do any big changes. So with that, the carpenters.
Yeah.
Thank you.